Are you looking for an athletic scholarship? You're in the right place. This is the Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the longest running podcast on recruiting and athletic scholarships. We're here to help your family navigate the recruiting road all the way to an athletic scholarship. He's a recruiting expert and a dad of 2 college athletes. He has a wealth of experience to share. Here's Recruit Me CEO, Brent Hanks.
Welcome to episode 513 of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. Today's episode is a little bit of a rant from me about a thing that I hear or have seen student athletes, parents, and coaches that are said or posted about recruiting. Recruit Me has the 10 myths about athletic scholarships that are part of the Recruit Me 3.0 athletic scholarship system. Recruit Me's 10 myths are: myth number 1, if my child is good enough, the college coaches will find him or her. Number 2, if I'm talented, the coach can get me into school despite poor grades. Number 3, I can trust everything a coach says and promises during a recruiting process. Number 4, I can wait until my senior year to look for athletic scholarships. Number 5, most athletic scholarships are full rides. Number 6, my high school coach or guidance counselor will get me a scholarship. Myth number 7, I have to be the best player on my team to get any athletic financial aid. Myth number 8, schools only give scholarships for money sports like football and basketball. Myth number 9, coaches resent being contacted by prospective athletes. And myth number 10, I already received a letter from a coach, so I'm being recruited. You can get your own copy of the Recruit Me 3.0 system by investing $39 to get your 200-plus page recruiting manual, workbook, and worksheets. Go to the recruit-me.com website and click on the Get Access button. This observation wasn't in the 10 myths, but it could easily be added. The observation I want to bring forward to you is that I see or hear that parents, players, and club sports promote or think that student athletes need to get exposure early. And when I say early, I'm talking about 8th grade, 9th grade, sophomore years of high school. Recruit Me says that if there are 1,000 student athletes, then there will be 1,000 different recruiting journeys. But the vast majority of recruiting journeys do not start in the high school freshman or even the sophomore years. Each sport, each position in that sport, each level of play, and then each coaching staff can have a different plan and a different timetable to recruit to their needs for their team. I know of student athletes and parents that have moved from club to club and even high school to high school as 7th, 8th, and 9th graders to chase exposure to college coaches in their sport. Chasing exposure is cemented in their minds by seeing one junior high kid getting attention on social media or even on ESPN. These occur very few and far between times. The athlete that is getting this kind of early exposure attention is an oddity in the athletic world. But many times if we see it once, it gets branded in our mind that it happens all the time. Size, speed, and strength are major clinchers to why a college coach gets interested in an athlete. And I've said many times on these podcasts that girls get recruited sometimes earlier than boys. Girls many times mature earlier than boys do. A high school girl may meet the size, the speed, and the strength of a college-age student athlete in her sport. Girls may also get to play on a high school varsity team as a freshman or a sophomore more often than boys do. And many times they play up in age in their club sports. If you do get attention from college coaches, remember, there are just a few times and ways, especially in the NCAA levels, that coaches can contact you before your junior year of high school. For the guys, they don't mature as early in general. I see or hear about players jumping from a club team from their freshman year to their sophomore year because they didn't get enough exposure to college coaches. For the guys, I many times say that in most sports, a 5'7", 140-pound sophomore is not a big prospect out there on most levels, and in most sports. Recruit Me emphasizes that 99% of all the high school student athletes should use their pre-high school years to train and play their sport and other sports. That 99% is just a Recruit Me observation. I even recently had a parent talking about getting huddle videos for youth football. He thought it would be good to have videos at the 5th and 6th grade levels. I asked him, good for what? He said exposure. If a 6th grader needs exposure, he or she is producing it themselves. Parents and student athletes should enjoy playing their sport and other sports. Enjoy them and get better at them. Play all the sports you want. Recruit Me feels the 2 best times to start your recruitment is as you enter the 9th grade, and then after that, start today. As you enter your freshman year and go through the start of high school, work on your GPA, work on your game, and work on researching, recruiting, and colleges. The earlier you do this, the slower you can take it. I recently came across a social media post by Red Wave Press, and it was reposted by Blue Book Sports. They had a news clip of a story from California about this. And the clip said, a growing number of middle school athletes, mostly boys, are intentionally repeating 8th grade to delay their start of high school, giving themselves another full year to get bigger, stronger, and faster, which dramatically boosts their chances at elite high school sports, college scholarships, and massive NIL deals, potentially worth millions. There was a quote on the post that of 8 million high school student athletes in sports, only 7% will play in college. On the other hand, the likely number one pick in this year's NBA draft did 8th grade twice. The quote continued to say, crazy idea. How about letting kids be kids? So now back to my opinion. I'm not saying that no student athlete and their family shouldn't consider or do a repeat, but exposure shouldn't be the main reason. I actually had a family that I know well hold their son back in junior high because he had a very late birth date, he was one of the youngest in his grade, and they were moving to another town 60 miles away. They moved because of a job change. Well, this young man ended up being a 6'6" shooting forward at a mid-major D1 basketball team. Their move was based on their moving to a different town and on letting their son be on a maturity level both physically and mentally with students his age. To the previous point of this episode, I never said never. There will be potential student athletes that get attention in 8th grade and 9th grade. There will be potential student athletes that repeating a grade in junior high may help, but chasing early exposure is not a formula to depend on as a plan for your future recruitment. Another recent X post I came across was from Austin Ford Sr. and reposted by Showcase and College Baseball. Mr. Ford said, parents between 9U and 14U, it really doesn't matter if your son plays for a brand team or plays on a scout, a majors, a AAA, or a AA team. Your main focus at this stage for your player is to make sure that you are having fun, take care of arm care, and are playing with confidence and aggression. Another repost from Showcase and College Baseball, and the original post from Coach Sweat said, 2 years ago, 2 players turned down our 13U team to play on a national baseball team for more exposure. Exposure to who? No college coach recruits 13-year-olds. Later, one dad told me it was a huge mistake. Nearly $18,000 gone chasing fake exposure. Parents are sold a dream. Sutton, my younger son, played summer baseball with and high school baseball against a current D1 player. The kid was probably 6'1" and close to 200 pounds as a freshman in high school, and is now 6'3" and 220 pounds. He played for Missouri State, a mid-major D1, and now is currently playing for the Arkansas Razorbacks. He was an early D1 prospect based on his side and sweet left-handed swing. He was known in our area as a freshman and a sophomore, and played up a year in many of his summer club tournaments. He was also a solid D1 recruit his junior year. Think about players in your sport that are your age or older that went on to play a sport in college. Did they chase early exposure? And what was their result? Did they end up on an upper-level D1 team? Did they commit early after doing showcase after showcase? If they signed or committed to a major D1, how long did they stay there? 1 year, 2 years, or all 4 years? Recruit Me 7 Steps wants you to be able to make a right fit decision, and some decisions will involve early exposure, or some even repeating 8th grade, but the vast majority will not. The good news is that the Recruit Me 7 Steps will help you discern your need for exposure, when you need exposure, and what kind of exposure you need to pursue. Tournaments, ID camps, and showcases are important, but they are expensive, and spending money too early can be a waste of time for your exposure. I'll throw my sons at you again. With Parker, we didn't know what we were doing. That was pre-finding Recruit Me. His summer baseball club didn't chase a lot of exposure tournaments, and we didn't hit any camps or showcases until Parker's end of summer right before his junior year of high school. Parker played in a junior Sunbelt tournament with players from all over Missouri, and against teams from Canada, Tennessee, Mississippi, Arizona, Colorado, Texas, and Oklahoma. These teams did have some D1 commits and recruits. His participation in the Junior Sun Belt gave him the confidence and the understanding that he could pitch and compete in college baseball. From that June 2026 Junior Sun Belt, which was the summer between his sophomore and junior year of high school, Parker decided to attend a camp at Kansas University in July 2026, then one in Iowa in September of 2026. He did an unofficial visit to Arkansas in October of 2026. He did these 3 adventures by doing research and contacting these universities and their coaches. Then in late October 2026, he did an official visit to Lubbock Christian that was arranged by a high school coach whose brother was the pitching coach there. Lubbock Christian offered Parker a full ride, which was both an academic and an athletic scholarship combo. Parker's full ride offer flamed his exploration of his future options in NCAA Division III, Division II, and Division I schools. He made a list of colleges and their contacts before his junior high school baseball season, and he revisited Arkansas in January of 2017 and did a pitching showcase in St. Louis in February 2017. Parker had a stellar junior high school baseball season, being named Conference Pitcher of the Year with an 8-0 record and a .86 ERA. He again played in the Junior Sun Belt with his Missouri team, and they went on to win the championship, and he was named the Tournament Pitcher of the Week. The Kansas Jayhawks actually came to watch him pitch in one of the games. Parker's last showcase came in July 2017, as some of his Junior Sun Belt teammates and coaches played in Joliet, Illinois. Parker contacted 4 or 5 colleges to come watch him in Joliet. The pitching coach for Northwestern responded and contacted Parker's showcase coaches and arranged to watch him pitch the second day of the showcase. After Coach Reynolds from Northwestern watched him, he invited Parker and Lori and I to do an unofficial visit on the Northwestern campus the next day. A week later, Northwestern gave Parker an offer and he accepted. He officially signed in November 2017 at the start of his senior year of high school. Sutton, my younger son, had the power of Recruit Me and his brother's recruiting experience, and he ended up having a quick recruiting adventure. Sutton didn't really decide to pursue college baseball until after his junior year of high school, and actually about a month into his summer baseball. Sutton had attended a local showcase held at a high school right before his junior year of high school, mainly to kind of get an experience, and then another in the fall of his junior year that was held by his summer club team. Both got some of his metrics on the books, and they were a good learning experience. When he decided to contact college coaches, he was ready, and he attended a campus ID camp at an NAIA level school. He attended an open showcase at a D2 college, and he arranged unofficial visits to a D3 school and 2 other NAIA schools. All of these met his parameters list of his wants and needs. Of these unofficial visits, he got 3 offers to play baseball and accepted the Columbia College offer, where he just completed his 4 years of baseball and undergrad education. Again, everyone's recruiting path will be different in a few ways, and also maybe in many ways. But I wanted to show you our family's path and timetable to both of the boys' college baseball recruitments. With Parker, we didn't totally understand about exposure, but luckily we didn't choose to chase exposure too early, and we only had a little stress of the unknown pathway. We lucked into a less stressful and less expensive pathway with Parker, and we learned and took the good pathway with Sutton. I really feel Recruit Me's and the Athletic Scholarship Podcast message can and will be beneficial to the vast majority of potential student athletes. Use Recruit Me no matter what level you play in high school, no matter what sport, no matter what level you believe that you can play in college. Go to the recruit-me.com website to get access to the Recruit Me 3.0 Athletic Scholarship System and get all the 7 steps and more to get you an athletic scholarship and an opportunity to play your sport in college. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the world's longest-running recruiting education podcast. And join me every Tuesday on your favorite podcast app or go to the recruit-me.com website to get a new 15 minutes that will change your athletic scholarship future. Again, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week.